Zen is dope. Every single human needs to practice Zen if you wish to live a happy life, you want to achieve your goals. But not so many people talks about Zen with the depth and certain understandings. Maybe it's because being perceived as something Buddhism. But Zen is actually a part of the Buddhism. Well, it started within a Buddhism, but Zen master once said, Zen is a method. Zen is everywhere in your daily life. The way you walk is Zen. The way you sit is Zen. The way you eat is Zen. Meditation is not the only Zen. Zen is essentially the way of living. Look, listen. There's a bird. No, there's no bird. There's an airplane. What is up, guys? Hope you guys are having a glorious day. My name is Sho and welcome to the video. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and let's dive in. In this video, I'm gonna talk about how to Zen the fuck out. And of course, how I became who I am and so calm and chill and very non-reactive towards the things. Compared to how I was before, I was just literally reacting to everything, stressed out, and just complaining everything that's happening around my life. And I have to say, Zen will make you even more attractive. And like, okay, people might not believe this, like, why it's just meditation and being Zen makes you attractive. You know, it talks about all this how to become attractive on TikTok. It has like 29 or 30 series already. I started to talk about that on YouTube as well, but anyway, Zen, sophisticate oneself. Because let's face it, people don't practice Zen is always in rush. And most of the time, 90% of your life is controlled by your unconscious. So essentially, if you don't practice to be in the present moment, if you don't practice to be in this present moment the best way you can and just exist the best way you can, you're completely unconscious and controlled by all this program that you have in your subconscious mind and all the reaction that you have. It's called blind reaction. And so many people are just thinking and doing something and feeling something and just so busy with whatever they just kind of like consuming the emotion mindlessly. And this is a good example, you know, being on the phone all the time and TikTok and Instagram or texting some people, and basically you are now occupied with the distractions. And let's face it, your life is not supposed to be decorated by all these distractions and toxic things. You're supposed to reduce that amount of those toxic things and distraction from you existing this present moment, so that you can fulfill yourself in this present moment and have this human experience, which we have a limit in this life. Maybe we have a past life, maybe we have another life coming up. Maybe you're gonna be like a dog or something. Maybe who knows that you can be human again. So let me educate you a little bit about Zen and a little bit about history of Zen. So Zen is originally from India. You know, the Buddhism is originally from India. When Shaka, aka Buddha, meditated underneath the Bodhi tree, it's basically the inception, and he got enlightened, and that's the inception of the Buddhism. So the Zen came from India originally, but it went to China first, not Japan straight away. India to China, brought by a guy named Bodhidharma, and he's basically 28th apprentice of the Buddha. And the difference between other religions like Christianity or Muslim, Islam, and Buddhism is that they are either monotheism or polytheism. Monotheism is basically you believe one God, a singular God, like a Jesus Christ or like Allah. Like you believe one God and worship them. Polytheism is basically you have gods, like bunch of gods, like Hindu. You know, you have so much gods in India, so you have to make sure that which one is he praying for. But in Buddhism, it believes in the thoughts of emptiness. And this 28th apprentice Daruma is basically a pioneer of the Zen method, and he brought to China and Japan eventually. And he actually taught Zen with the four holy quote. One, Ryumonchi. It means you can't be taught by words. And two is called Kyogebetsuden. It also kind of like similar to the number one, but it basically means you can't learn from the books. It has to be the wisdom. And three is called Jikshi Ninshin. It means you have to experience your own heart, your own spirit. And 4 is Kensho Jobs. It means if you connect deeply with yourself, with your heart, with your spirit, you become Buddha. Buddhism or Zen essentially practice being aware, to exist, the truth, and deeply connected to oneself, getting enlightened. When it comes to the Buddhism or, the monks, we often kind of like imagine that, oh, you can't have a sexual engagement, you have to shave your head, you have to fast every day, you have to do this and that, you can't drink alcohol and you have to live in temple. That's the choice that they chose. It doesn't mean that you have to be like that, because like I said, Zen is a method, but it doesn't mean that you have to believe something. You have to believe in Buddha, you have to go to the temple and do this and that. You can just practice Zen, because Zen is essentially a way of living. Even if you believe in a God, Jesus, or other gods, it's fine, because you can practice that. The way you eat is Zen. The way you pray can be in a different way, but the way you eat is Zen. The way you make your bed is Zen. So you can literally implement all these ideas and philosophy into your life and actually experience it and practice it on a daily basis. Let me share some of the quotes from Zen master Ekihiko Miyazaki. He's already passed away like quite a while ago, but he lived around 100 years and 100 something years, and then he basically meditated over 90 years every single fucking day. So first he said, learn how to overcome is Zazen. Zazen is basically meditation. You sit, Za means sit, and Zen in Japanese from this alphabet means you basically connect deeply to oneself, and it's a practice of your spirit and your mental and spiritual health. And he also mentioned the purpose of this Zazen meditation is to become one with the breath. And importantly, he also said every day is a discipline. And I found it very similar to the Marcus Aurelius, the Stoicism by Marcus Aurelius. He's a 16th century Roman emperor. And this is the book called Meditation by Marcus Aurelius. It's obviously translated into modern language, and it's really easy to read. And I found it very similar that his approach towards the life, towards the perception of life and the human experience, and all these life philosophy and an idea and a concept of this reality and the bigger scale of life is very similar to what a Buddha is talking about. So essentially, deep down, the human can be aware of the level of the life, and by accomplished in a state of enlightenment, and it can be perceived as in a different way, because the Marcus Aurelius clearly is a Western culture, but Buddhism is an Eastern culture. Even though it's such a different culture, because in Eastern, for example, we have past life, we have life as a cycle, so we don't treat as a one life type of perception. But in the Western culture, they believe in one life, so which brings us a different perception on time and this life. But I guess bottom line is, if you become truly human and spiritually consciously aware and exist the best way you can, you reach the same space of a human being. And here's the thing, he also mentioned Zen is learning. And this is exactly what he said, and I'm translating into English. Learning came from copying. If you copy someone one day, it's the one day of learning. If you copy someone 100 days, that's a learning of 100 days. If you keep copying, then that's the amount of learning you've done. So essentially what he meant is, I think, if you want to learn properly, like in the way of Zen, you have to implement and experience it by yourself. Like watching YouTube and reading books is not the learning. You have to study, learn, and then input some new information and actually implement into your reality, and that's where the learning complete. But if you do it one day, that's just one day of learning. But if you do it 100 days or 365 days, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and that's the amount of learning you've done. This is the depth of learning. We think that, oh yeah, we are learning, oh I love learning, it's easy to say, but ask yourself this, am I really learning? And if you can't say yes, that's okay. But you can start from today and start learning, start copying someone that you wish to be like, like you look up to, you respect. If someone that you respect is doing this and that, learn from them and copy them on a daily basis. Because from my experience, that will change your life. So Zen is essentially living your life the best way you can. You know, every present moment you're handed by the divine, and challenge yourself to connect with oneself, with your own heart, with your own spirit, with your own every aspect and every cell and every atom in your body, and learn how to overcome your fears and obstacles, and become one with your breath, and become one with your cells, and become one with your blood, and everything becomes one, just oneness, and then stay disciplined every single day. In Japanese, you write discipline like this, and it is a one letter. It looks complicated, it's just one letter, but it's actually made of two different letters into one letter. There's actually a lot of story about like each letters of this Chinese alphabet, and there's a meaning behind, there's a reason behind. So if you break it down, this discipline into two words, two letters, it literally means to make oneself beautiful. With that said, thank you so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it, and I hope you learned something about Zen and a little bit about idea and philosophy, and I hope that this video encouraged you to stay disciplined. So if you like the video, smash the like button and do it everything. Alright guys, I love you guys, and stay disciplined, stay beautiful. Ciao. Live your life like a movie.